Dr. Kelly Goodness is a highly respected and well-experienced clinical psychologist who specializes in forensic psychology. Dr. Goodness is pleased to provide her services to all types of legal professionals: courts, civil attorneys, defense attorneys, or prosecutors, as she knows that each has an important job to do. Challenging, complex, and notorious legal cases are commonplace in her work. She has extensive experience working in numerous settings, from maximum security forensic hospitals, civil hospitals, courtrooms, community clinics, jails, and prisons, including death row. Dr. Goodness has worked in all phases and on all types of legal cases, including child custody, personal injury, death penalty capital murder, kidnapping, sexual assault, drug offenses, torture, crimes against property, and more.
My job is to investigate the psychology of the individual, the offense, the person's background, and to the best of my ability to ascertain how it is that they have come to stand before the court today. I share that information with the attorneys. If they want me to, I share that with the jury. Oftentimes, I have investigated a case to the point where I know far more than the attorneys ever want within the jury's awareness. And I will then assist them in choosing which lay witnesses to call to get out their story, and how to interview the lay witnesses while they're on the stand. Or I'll choose other expert witnesses and I'll ask them a very narrow question. For example, does this individual have brain damage? If so, how might it affect their functioning if they also were doing methamphetamines?
Dr. Goodness is frequently a core contributor in resolving legal cases. She approaches and examines each case individually and follows strict procedures along the way to ensure she is able to objectively aid the legal professionals and triers of fact that rely on her expertise to help quickly and productively move their cases through the legal process. As an expert witness, Dr. Goodness has done thousands of pretrial evaluations of juvenile and adult criminal defendants, investigating issues such as competence to stand trial, insanity, mitigating circumstances, dangerousness, treatment recommendations for sentencing, and she has been increasingly asked to evaluate symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder in both war veterans and non-veterans. Likewise, she has handled numerous civil cases involving custody issues, disability, and personal injury claims.
When I'm faced with whether it's defense attorneys or it's a prosecutor who expects that I'm just going to argue the good points for whatever side has called me into court, they're sadly mistaken. I'm going to answer the questions based on what reality is. I'm not going to say anything that's unreasonable.
In addition to being an expert witness, Dr. Goodness has unique skills that can assist you before, during, or after trial. She can provide you with expertise in developing trial strategy, adequately challenging opposing witnesses, and selecting a jury open to your specific case evidence. Post-trial, she can canvass your jury or assist with reviewing issues for appeal purposes. Her experience makes her one of the most sought-after legal psychologists in the state of Texas.
I work for not just prosecutors and defense attorneys, but also for the court, meaning the judge. So I may not work for either side, I may work for the court, and then my work goes to both sides. If they all ask the same question, then they get the same answer. But everyone's job in the legal system is different, so what the prosecutors need to know is different than what the defense attorneys need to know, and often different than what the judge needs to know.
For a number of years, Wes Parks has worked at Dr. Goodness's side as her forensic case manager. During this time, he has seen many of these interesting cases develop and make their way through the justice system.
Day in and day out, Dr. Goodness and I work often in the same room very closely with one another. I do a lot of the psychometric testing and we do a lot of interviews and things together. And for me, one of the benefits to that is I get to see a side of her that I don't think anybody else gets to see except maybe a few legal professionals and defendants. I get to see the way her clinical formulations come together in a forensic environment, which is a very unique set of clinical skills that most people would not encounter. When you're putting together your team, there's nobody better equipped as a forensic psychologist than Dr. Goodness.